Hey, hey! You're listening to the Shadowbolts cast. I'm Miss B, Master of Ceremony. And today I'm going to give you a special edition of the Bolts cast. For you see, on December 23rd, the group turned 2 years old. I started it back in, 2012. And I'm going to give you a bit of a history lesson, kind of bring us up to speed, and give some insight into the future. I've been very silent and hard to get a hold of lately because this has been deeply on my mind. But you, the people, definitely deserve to know what's up, and I'm here to bring it. So without further ado, let's look back in time. Follow me back to the year 2012. Back then, I was just a happy little poster on 4chan's MLP, because it was brand new and everybody was happy and excited and the show just had its second season. And we had wonderful things like a wedding, because when a little kid show can actually get grown men excited for a colorful pink horse's wedding, you know they're doing something right. Anyway, I'm just sitting there watching the forums, kinda bored, got nothing going on at that point in time in life. In between college semester and unemployment. And somebody posts and says, hey, you want to join a pony gaming group? And they're just doing like a drive-by recruiting. And it's called Equestria Royal Guard, that's their name. EQRG, for future reference. So I joined them, because I figure, hey, I can have some fun there. When I do, I meet all sorts of interesting blokes. And a bunch of disturbing stuff. Because I later found out that most of them were severely underage. We're talking 12 to 15-year-old range. And it was a bunch of kids with money. And I'm not talking, oh, hey, I'm gonna buy some Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I mean, hey, my uncle just bought me a SWAT team outfit with actual bulletproof shield and vest and helmets, and here's a picture of me. And it was creepy, because if you haven't told by the voice, I'm a little up there in age, and masculine. So I don't feel particularly comfortable around children, or the younger type. So I ended up having to vamoose from them. There was a group that they deeply hated called, Eridani Light Pony, that's their name, ELP. So I went over there, because I figured, hey, if these guys hate them so much, I want to see why they hate them. So I put an app in, stuff happens, I joined their ranks, we play MechWarrior Online for a while, since that's what both of the groups were big about at the time. And I enjoyed that game. Still do. I pop on from time to time, I mean. And I really liked that group. It was an older set of people, they were all in their 20s mostly. And I had fun with them. Some stuff went down, I realized their leader was a joke, so I couldn't respectfully stand by somebody like that. And I had made a decision, after talking with somebody very close to me at the time, that I was going to make my own group. Because my name's SB, they suggested I make the Shadowbolts. Shadowbolts. SB. Makes sense, doesn't it? So I fiddled around for a while, and then when I finally got comfortable with the idea, I registered the name and I jumped ship. Early days, I wanted to be a MechWarrior Tactics group, since ELP did not want to touch that game. But all their major competitors from MechWarrior Online were making groups, and I felt that they should have supported that game. Me personally, since if the competition's doing it, why not get your feet in the door? Since, hey, they were tournament champions back then, and they actually meant something. So it makes sense to go and actually try to get a foothold in on that one, too. It wasn't happening. So shadowbolts.org was born. Since .com, .net, and everything else was bought out and just left to rot by other groups. And that motivated me so much, seeing all these other groups having Shadowbolts as names, and not doing jack diddly with it. I wanted to be the group that was open and willing to take people. That we could grow as a group. That was the plan back then. I started out as a pony group back then, but things changed. Because I realized nobody liked pony groups back then. And they still don't. They're more accepting of it now, but back then, when it was in its real heyday, you know, with Discord being new and stuff like that, not so much, because people were throwing the horses in the faces and people were still adjusting to it. So I ended up closing shop down since MechWarrior Tactics wasn't going anywhere. By the way, it's completely dead at the moment. I paid $60 to get into the beta and they closed the game down before it really came out. I feel great about that decision. Oh yeah. So I let things simmer down. The first group didn't really grow at all. I kinda just let it putter around. I work on about 2-3 different site revisions during that time. And then I try to remake it. And this time as a Final Fantasy XIV group. Back in launch. I got people in the beta. I had my friend, he's Warrior 2 to me. He's Raymond Wilfong to me. We're not friends anymore, but I still respect him enough to call him by his name, even if he doesn't care. And we sat down, I did some doodles on what I wanted for a logo, and he was appalled by it, so he decided he could do better. But he talked me out of making a horse-themed group. No pony motif. He wanted something that he could be comfortable with. As my best friend at the time, I decided, hey, I'm gonna bend over and do this. If it's gonna make me successful, I am gonna take my best friend's advice. The group grew substantially large. First batch, we had between 40 to 60 members on the Ultros server. And things began falling apart very, very quickly on that server. Because we had groups of people. I had one guy that I said, hey, would you mind helping us build up a bit and get us some members? His name was Mirai Mark. So he got 10 or so of his friends on, and they just tried to keep taking over the group, and they made the group drag down. Because they were horrible posting stuff, and just blabbering on, and people were leaving the group as a result, saying that they thought we were a mature group, but clearly we're not because of them. So I ended up having to kick them. Other stuff happened, and pretty much overnight, the group went from 40 people down to 6 or so. So I got horribly depressed, and I just completely called it. Ray wasn't going to play the game anymore. I wasn't happy, so we just cleaned our hands of it. This was back in 2.1. And we just walked off. I sat there, I fiddled with the site more. I went through another hosting company or so. Another revision. I just kind of let it back off and sit on the burner then. Then something happened. Ray told me one day that he was going to remake my group with or without me. So I wasn't going to have that. I have invested hundreds of dollars into the shadowbolts.org project, and I am not about to let somebody just take it from me like that. So I end up having to come out of retirement and be the admin again, since I'm the one hosting the site and all that good stuff anyway. And the deal there is that we go back to 14 because they had a free trial. And me and him, we were impressed with how they changed the game. And we tried to rebuild again. So this is the second or third group of Shadowbolts by this point, with me still as leader. And the situation there is that we get people. We still aren't horse themed. He won't allow it. And I go along with it since he's the artist and all that good stuff. And I paid him $50 for a logo before and was hoping to get some discounts on future artwork if needed. And that group didn't really work out too well. We got some really good people, but the problem is that they talked about me behind my back. They said that they wouldn't play with me in any other game when I was looking to try to revive the group again, because people were burning out of Final Fantasy XIV again, and I figured we could become kind of a generic gaming group. And when they told me that, well, they didn't tell me, they told Ray. And when they told him that they wouldn't play any other game with me because they said I was too serious, I wasn't going to stand for it. I don't want people like that in a group that I'm running. That's a clear sign that I've failed them as a leader, if they don't want to follow me. But at the same time, I don't want people in my group that won't follow, because they're just in my group then. They're not somebody that I'm leading towards some common goal or cause. They're somebody that's in my group just because they get benefits for being in my group. And I don't want that. So I fiddled around and I kicked them out. After a bunch of ragey stuff, because I wasn't at a good point in life back then. And it caused a big rift in the friendship because Ray was really big friends with those three people, and I wasn't. Especially after they went behind my back and told him, but not me, that they don't want me. They don't want to mess with me. They don't want to have me around. So, that pretty much did it. I lost a 16-year friendship because of that. And I became horribly depressed as a result, and I closed down the site and all that again. And when I closed down the group, I left the site up because, as always, I'd keep working on it. And one of the members, Ferriol, as you know him now, Happy Bits on the site, though. That's my dog in the background. She's having fun. Anyway, he kept trying to talk me into doing stuff, and reviving the group, because he really liked what I had going before. And I doled it over with him, and we decided we'd go back to pony theme, which is what I started the whole group on. It's like starting a video game group and then going to news or something that's not even related to gaming, and trying to ignore your roots. It doesn't work. So we embraced what we are this time. We went out there, we introduced ourselves as such. And we've had moderate success this time around in, the 4th or 5th Shadowbolts group now? With me as the leader? And things honestly went pretty good. We had a really strong start, as always. And then starting around October, everything's just fallen apart again. And I've had people just constantly throw bull at me, saying they're gonna do this or that. I don't need bribed words. I need action. I need people. And in the end, the group, I say it's dead, honestly, at this point. It's why I've been mum. I've had people say they're going to come back in a week or two, and they don't come back. I've had people say that they're going to put so much time into the game in the group, and they don't. I've had people join the website and not say a word, and then they get upset that the group's not talking to them, and they leave. And I've just become ragged. I can't really lead a group in the future when the group doesn't want to be led. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make it drink, but you sure as hell can go and break its leg out and make it drown in the water. And really, what do I really do at this point? I keep trying to lead the group, and nobody wants to do anything as a group. It just falls flat on its face every time. And then it just kind of dies there on the spot. I mean, I like 14 and I can keep playing it, sure. But I have a group that's not a group. And I can't get them to be a group. They don't want to function as a group. And the game's really not designed to function as a group. So I don't know what's going to be the future on that. I might go and just run with the group and lead my own projects, and if others tag along, great, but I might just start doing solo outings with shadowbolts.org. I might start doing an LP or something on the weekends. And I have ideas. I got plenty of ideas. I got so many ideas. And the problem is I don't have the manpower for ideas. So I think the 14 groups probably ran its course. Because I really don't feel like sitting around and playing for the next 2-3... Well, no. The patch isn't going to hit until... No, the expansion won't be until April at the earliest now. April or May. Because 2.51 with the Hildebrand Golden Saucer is going to be in March. And patch 2.5 comes on January 20th. Which, even though I'm not in-game and I'm not on the site half the time anymore, I still keep tabs on all these things. Because they matter to me, because they matter to other people. And that's my role as a leader. It's not me. I have to function for all of us. For you, the people listening to this. Those of you that chose me. Basically, when you sign up in my site, when you join my group in the game, you basically show a sign of faith that you are trusting me as a leader to help you, to take you to greater heights. And I haven't really failed you guys. I've gone above and beyond what any normal person really would do. I always turn my computer on, and every moment that I'm around, I'm on the site. I want to be reachable by people. I've taken time off of homework for college and everything else. I've stopped in the middle of big projects to go and answer replies on the chat, to answer posts on the forums. I log in whenever I could to the 14 group, just so there's always somebody there, so the group's not completely dead, so you're not just sitting there playing by yourself. So you have somebody to talk to, somebody to socialize with. I really, truly have gone as far as I really can do. And I don't know if I can really go further. Because, we're talking like $30, $40 worth of sub fees before the expansion hits. Then I buy the expansion for $40 or more. And what will I have? I'll have just what I have now. A group where nobody's really logging on, nobody's got the passion that I have. And I just don't know. So I think the 14 group's probably run its course, honestly, by this point. I mean, the free company can exist within the game, and I can still run the site, but is it really worth it if it's just going to be for 5 people or less? Because really, the only people that play, as far as I'm concerned, is me and Happy. And the rest of you guys, at this point, you've all jumped ship. I mean, you could be like Bell / Tyro / whatever you want to call him, Jinky. But in his case, he just keeps saying that he's going to play, and he subs up sometimes, but he's not on like he used to be. And he's not a presence on the site anymore. You could do like Chew, where I throw a tangent and say that console players are bad at content, and then say you're console only, and then get upset and leave the entire game and group for months, and come back and get upset that I kick you, since you're inactive, and then when you come back you don't socialize with anybody. And it's stuff like that that's bothering me lately. I have to keep coming up with rules to kind of engage people, and the problems are that it's not engaging people, it just makes me seem like an asshole to people. And I'm not accomplishing leadership there. I'm just being a power-hungry dictator. Leadership to me means that I'm making the hard choices at the right time. And I mean, in any other kind of leadership position, honestly, they'd probably cut a lot of you guys out. I probably should just mark a lot of you as inactive on the site, cut out privileges and all that, and just start looking to rebuild the group without you all. But I don't want to do that. I want it to be where I can go and say, hey, that guy right there, he's Sandriel, he's my friend. That guy, Tyro, he's awesome. He makes me laugh, he makes me feel good. Oh, that one, he's happy. I can always count on him to actually brighten up my day when I'm stuck in college and I'm typing on a computer to sneak some chat in. And it's probably the same thing because he's typing on his cubicle office. And I want to say stuff like, oh, Rukia, she does nice art and she pops in rarely, but she's always worth having around here. And Chu would be somebody that I would have said I actually enjoyed talking to. But I really can't say all these things except what I just said. Because all these people outside of Happy, you guys just up and left. And it's just been me and him. We log in regularly and faithfully and we do our content. Or I did my content. I took a bit of time off because I'm losing it. I'm losing the steam, kinda. I can still lead the group and keep doing things, it's just that you can't lead a group when there's no group. So, in the future, I see a couple of side projects that I can do with the group. I'm considering making something called a gaming alliance, where I reach out to other groups and interact with them. Star Citizen, I'm considering just cutting completely off at this point. I don't see it as a worthwhile endeavor, since there's no point to it. At the moment, it's just a money grab. I'm sure it's going to be a nice polished game when it releases, but that's that. Marvel Heroes, I have fun with it, but I'm just not in the mood to grind lately. Because I spent all my grind time on Final Fantasy XIV trying to level up Paladin, so that way... Because in 14, it turned to the point where here lately I've been looking at reasons to stay sub long term now. Just so I can keep playing the game. I was going to look into making a Zodiac weapon, which is the top tier. I wanted to make Excalibur and all that for a job I don't even plan to play that often. Because I'll only tank for the free company. I won't go and duty finder and tank anymore. Because it's not worth my time, usually. I can get the same rewards as being a mindless DPS as I can being a tank or healer, so I'm just going to be the mindless DPS. But, yeah. I'm looking for reasons to say sub to the game, and when I'm at that point, why am I subbed? I mean, all you other people, you all just bailed on the game and just did your own stuff, and you can cry, I'm doing life this or that, but it's not true, because you all used to regularly, daily sign up on the site and chit-chat for a bit, and do other things, and you've just gone cold turkey on it. And to me, that's a sign that you're not really a part of the group anymore. So I'm going to have to probably make a new group. Again, of Shadow Bolts with a different focus and purpose. Having it clearly be based around an MMO where you have to pay to play and half the group can't... Well, the majority of the group can't even pay a monthly sub of $12.95. That's pretty bad. That's really bad. That means a lot of bad life choices have been made, and you people should probably stop playing video games and actually go out and look for better jobs and actually do something. There, I said it. If $12.95 is a make or break, and you can't even take the time to log in for 30 minutes to do your dailies for Beastmen or crafting or something, then no. You have life problems. You need to get out there and figure out what's going on, and you need to get your life on track. And that's that. I might do like I did before and have a focus on free games, or I might find some flavor of the month, or I might just focus on the Wii U for all I care. I mean, people bought Smash and we couldn't even get a tournament going for it. That's how much of a disconnect there is in this community. And it's my job as leader to ensure the success and the well-being of the group. So I'm going to have to go off and rework things. And just change. So that's been your history and your update. As for me, I've got a Wii U and I got Monster Hunter Tri for $16 on the eShop. I've had it on my 3DS and I played too much time on it on the Wii. And I've just been having fun. I'm playing with people like me that are motivated. They like the game. They actually want to play the game. We play as groups. I can join randoms and we enjoy it. And it's just so much of a stark difference in the 14 group, where I have you people signed up on the side and on the lodestone, but people aren't logging in for weeks or months at a time, and people are throwing bull excuses. I mean, in one case, we joked around in the free company when somebody was giving an excuse, and I told them, oh, they're gonna say that their house burnt down and somebody chipped a nail or something. Because at one point, somebody just cried wolf so much that that's all that we had, was just excuses instead of somebody playing the game. And it's stuff like this that I have to sit around and think of all the time. I dedicate a lot of my thoughts to how I'm going to improve and make the group better. I've changed the site layout again. And it's going to stay this way for right now. No, I'm not going to resub to Engine in May, because I'm going to start, for the next 4 months, taking an HTML5 class on web design. So I'm going to find a cheaper host, and I'm going to make a website, and it's going to be how I want it for once. Not, I have to pay somebody and use their services like this. And I can guarantee you there's going to be some changes to layout and all that. Probably in the immediate future, I'm going to put away the chat box. It's going to be invite only, and chat's going to be gone. It's going to be done that way to go and encourage people to talk and use the forums. Because to me, the forums is important. That's where all our lifeblood should be. People should be logging in and using the forums to chit-chat and talk, and have plenty of things to talk about. We're on the internet. You can link to anything. You can find anything. You can put anything anywhere. Information is everywhere. Funny stories, funny YouTube, funny anything. You can share it with each other. And nobody wants to. They just pop on, leave a message, it stays on the chat, and they leave. So no, I'm going to go and get rid of the chat, have it invite only, and I'm going to have it set up where people are going to have to use the forum. And they might have to get like 20 posts or something before I actually give them chat access. And I also know in the future I'm not going to have a TeamSpeak anymore. It's just a waste every time I've had it. It gets used maybe a week out of a year, at best. So in the future, people can go and actually start mingling, make fake Skype names, go and group up like that. It's got free voice chat of adequate quality. You have chats, you can make a room in there and chat with people. If you don't want to do my archaic, must do this or that on site and group to go and get access. And I'm going to have other things in the future. But I'm going to have to also change the focus of the group again. Because the 14 group has been very fruitless, as always. It started out strong, then people just started falling off the map, and now I have a corpse garden. And I need to go and actually have a very beautiful blooming garden for the amount of effort that I can put into it. So, this has been your history, your update, and about a 30-minute long rant from one man. And boy, has it been a rant. But yeah. Anyway, this is SB, leader of shadowbolts.org, signing off for the first time in 2015. Have a happy new year, if it's still applicable, and all that good stuff. For me, I got games to play and I got college to start in a week. So I'm going to enjoy myself.